Peace, brothers and sisters in humanity. How you doing, guys? All right. I need a favor. I need some help. I need, the video I just done about Ramadan. I need it to be, please, if you can help. Uh, Trying to share it as much as you can, so I know. I need some critics. You know what I'm saying? Not Sunni critics. Or I need some thinkers critics as well. You know what I mean? Like, because you can't be just doing things and things you're right all the time. You see what I'm saying? You need people to criticize you, find you, you know what I mean, to see if you're right or not. You know what I mean? You need to be tested. Yeah. And the second thing is we need to get together, guys. Honestly, we need to get together and come up with a translation, right? The closest translation we can. And I don't think one person can actually do it. Um, to be honest, I really don't think so. I think, for me personally, I think about 50 need to get together, but at least 10. All right? And I'm willing to give my time, honestly. I'm willing to give my time. And a lot of translations are very close. We just need to work on them. You know what I mean? That's all. 10 people, I think, should be just enough. You know? At least there is people who go against you. You know, you've got people to debate. You don't want to force your own thinking on people. That's what I feel like. I can translate it by myself, but I'm gonna feel like I'm actually putting my ideas into people's heads. And it takes a lot of time to do that as well. So one person is gonna take him about a long time. I'm saying a long time. So we need to get together. Today we're gonna talk about the pillars of Sunnism, not Islam. So sorry, but it can't be, can it? All right. I'll prove it. I'll prove it to you. I'll prove it to you right now. All right. That this is all wrong, wrong, just wrong. When you compare it to the Quran, right? And I prepared a little bit for this. You know what I mean? Prepared a little bit for this. Not probably about a couple of hours it took me to prepare for this. Yeah, about 2-3 hours to prepare for this video. So I just put together what I could get, but I can get more, but the video gets longer every time. If you want to follow me, I think you need pen and paper to write all these verses down, at least for you to check them out later, or you want to check them out while you can pause me and check the verse if you want, because I don't put verses on thing. I'm not that tech, I'm not really tech. Really, and the time I spent doing that, I think I actually want to spend it reading the Quran or trying to find something, you know what I mean? Then spend all that time on editing and sticking things on screens and that. That's why I do it the simple way, like me, you, and the phone. That's it, nothing else. All right, let's go. Sorry, it's him again. Oh, sorry, like nice beard, very nice beard. I like his beard, so that's why I like to put him on my screen. All right, let's hear it from brother. What's his name? Mufti Mank. All right.
Number one is a declaration by your mouth. As we said, there is none worthy of worship besides my maker. We call him Allah because he calls himself Allah, which refers to the worshipped one. And I bear witness that Muhammad, peace be upon him, is his messenger. The 5 daily prayers, the fasting in the month of Ramadan, the charities, if I'm a wealthy person, to give to poor people, and if once in my lifetime, if I can, I will go for Hajj. Do you believe that in principle? Yes, I do. Number 2, do you believe in the 6 pillars of faith? What are they? Amantu billahi, I believe in Allah. Wa malaikatihi, and the angels. Angels exist. Wa kutubihi, and the books, the Injil and so on. All of the previous books that were given to the previous prophets, you believe in them in principle? Yes, I do. Wa rusulihi, and all the messengers, respectfully. We do not agree with previous scriptures that have spoken bad about any of the messengers or prophets of Allah. We believe they were honorable men, and whatever negativity is there in a disrespectful way, we deny it. Islam does not agree with it. They say Lot slept with his daughters, astaghfirullah, we don't agree. They say Jesus had an affair, astaghfirullah, that is blasphemous. We don't agree with this. They say Mary had an affair, we don't agree with that either, and so on. So, in principle, even Solomon and David, they have really bad things to say about them. For us as Muslims, they were honorable, they were the best of the best, and Allah chose them. You would not have chosen otherwise. If I'm an imam in the masjid, and you...
All right, now let's have a quick look at Salat. Salat. Or I tell you what, stop it here. I mean, I'll just leave brother man. Can I go through what he said? Yeah. So he said, there's
Number one is a
pillars.
declaration by your mouth. As we said, there is none worthy of worship.
Right. So you have to actually say shahadatayn, yeah, shahada, which is ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. You have to say it. We one at a time, yeah? And we're going to come to it one at a time, right? So basically, the shahada is, in their belief, you have to actually go to a mosque, right? You have to do it that way. You go to the mosque and you have two witnesses and you actually have to say it. Have to say it in front of witnesses. You say, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadur Rasulullah. That means I bear witness Allah, and I bear witness as God, as a creator, and I bear witness as the Prophet Muhammad as a messenger. Now we go to the word ashhad, yeah? That word means I bear witness. Right. So I should be going to the Quran and verify that, yeah, if we actually need to say that, or is it in the Quran, this shahada and the witnesses, and you have to go to the mosque to become to accept the deen of Islam and all this, yeah. See, because at least, right, because that is the most important pillars, right? That's what they're saying. So, I mean, without it, you can't be a Muslim. Without these pillars, you can't be a Muslim. No way. And any Christian or Jew, for him to be to become a Muslim, he has to say this. He has to believe in Allah, and he has to believe in the Prophet Muhammad, right? Otherwise, he can't be a Muslim. And if he's not Muslim, he's deemed, right? He's doomed. Sorry. So he's going to hell. That's their thinking, right? That's the Sunni thinking, right? That's the Sunni thinking. Let's just figure out what's in the Quran, because let's find out what is a witness, right? What is a witness in the Quran? Let's this verse I said it before, but it's the best verse to actually do. Surah 24, right? Verse 4, right? Chapter 24, verse 4. I'm going to start saying, from now I'm going to start saying surah and saying ayah, right? People need to get used to that. Right. وَالَّذِينَ يَرْمُونَ الْمُحْصَنَاتِ ثُمَّ لَمْ يَأْتُوا بِأَرْبَعَةِ شُهَدَاء فَاجْلِدُوهُمْ 80 جلدة ولا تقبلوا لهم شهادة أبدا وأولئك هم الفاسقون. Those who accuse married women of adultery, then fail to produce 4 witnesses, you shall whip them 80 lashes, and do not accept any testimony from them again. They are the wicked. Right? Now, let's just say what another verse. So basically, this is a shuhada here means, right, because they have got shuhada, martyrs, right? Martyrs in the Quran, a shaheed is a martyr, right? And in the Quran, all the words shaheed or shuhada or something is only witness. It's only witness. There's no death in it. There's no killing yourself or if you die for the cause of Allah. They think the only way to die for the cause of Allah is by shedding blood, which is wrong, 100% wrong, right? That's only if you defend yourself, you understand that? That's only if you die defending yourself, then you're not even called shaheed anyway, right? Right? It's not even called shaheed in the Quran. So the word shaheed in the Quran, nothing to do with martyrdom or anything. It means to bear witness. So these people accusing women of committing adultery and not producing any witnesses. So these people should be whipped 80 lashes, and we do not accept any testimony from them ever again. They are wicked. You understand? That's how bad this is, right? So witnesses. So people that seen these women, right? Physically seen these women committing this adultery. And adultery, right, is different. Adultery means, zina, it means having basically sexual intercourse. I always remember the Sunnis when I say that word, right? Come on. Outside. Actually outside, like an animal. Like animals, right? In public, right? Like animals. That's what zina means, right? let's have another surah, right? Ali Imran, Surah 3, Ayah 18. شهد الله أنه لا إله إلا هو والملائكة وأولو العلم قائما بالقسط لا إله إلا هو العزيز الحكيم. Right? Allah bear witness that there is no God except He, and the angels and the people with knowledge witness His fairness. There are no God but He. There is no God but He, the Almighty, most wise. So God bear witness that He is the Creator. But it didn't say here that means the it doesn't mean, right, because people think that means that, and the angels and the people with knowledge witness that. No, they witness His fairness. Do you know what I'm saying? Because the angels, and go to the Quran, read the Quran, the angels never ever, right, bear witness to God Himself, to Allah Himself, never ever, because they don't see Him either. Do you understand? They don't see Him either, right? And the people with knowledge, they do not see God. They do not see Allah. So them and the angels, right, bear witness to His fairness, not bear witness to His existence or something, right? Now there's another verse, right? It's talking about people that use that word, right? Use that word. Who are they, right? This is in the hypocrites surah, right? Surah al-Munafiqun, Surah 63, Ayah 1, right? إذ جاءك المنافقين قالوا نشهد إنك لرسول الله والله يعلم إنك لرسوله والله يشهد إن المنافقين لكاذبين. You see, here the hypocrites, they actually see the Prophet. They see him, right? They see him. So that's why they said, we bear witness, right, that you are the messenger. But they were lying. When the hypocrites come to you, they say, we bear witness that you are the messenger of Allah. Allah knows that you are His messenger, and Allah bears witness that the hypocrites are liars. See, you have to see, Allah sees everything, so He can bear witness, all right, to everything. But we do not. We do not bear witness to anything we do not see. Okay. See, to say, I bear witness something, that means you've seen it. You can't be a false, you know what I mean, a false witness. By you saying, أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمد رسول الله, you are a false witness. Because you didn't see God to witness Him, and you went there with a prophet to witness Him. So you can't say, I bear witness something you haven't seen. You understand? That's what the hypocrite here, this verse is talking about them. We tell you this a lot of time. We tell you this so many times. Some verses just talking about certain people there, and this is one of them, because they see Him, they can interact with Him, yeah? So they can bear witness. But they are obviously the hypocrites. But what we're supposed to say from the Quran, right, is this is the pillars of Islam. This is the basic pillars that anyone does these three things, he's a Muslim. Do you understand that? He's a Muslim anyway, because all the deen is one. Is one Islam. You can call it Judaism, you can call it Christianity, you can call it whatever you want. But it's Islam. So if you believe in this law that Allah has actually told us about it, that's it. You're a Muslim. Do you understand? So you don't need to say any shahada. Whether you're a Jew or Christian, or you don't believe in, like the Quran, or you don't believe in any of those, but believe in these three laws, you're a Muslim, right? Let's read the Quran. It's Surah 2, Ayah 62, Surah Al-Baqarah. إن الذين آمنوا والذين هادوا والنصارى والصابئين من آمن بالله واليوم الآخر وعمل عملا صالحا فلهم أجرهم عند ربهم ولا خوف عليهم ولا هم يحزنون. Those who believed, the Jews, the Christians, and the converts, anyone who believes in Allah and believes in the last day and do selfless acts will receive their recompense from their Lord. They have nothing to fear, nor will they grieve. See, so the believers, which is the Muhammad followers, the Jews, which is like Moses and a lot of Moses followers, the Christians are the Christian, basically Jesus followers, and the converts that don't believe in any of these, but they do these three things. You understand? That's what Sasabi'in is. They don't belong with any of these ways of, you know what I mean? But they believe in these three things. God said they have nothing to fear, nor will they grieve, and they will receive the recompense. See, that's it. That's it. That is the basic of Islam. This is the three pillars of Islam. This is the three pillars of Islam. All right, let's read it again. That's what we're supposed to do with Christians, right? That's what we're supposed to do with Christians. We talk to them and the Jews. We're not supposed. Let's read the verse. Let the verse talk. I don't talk. Right? I talk a lot actually. All right, Surah Ali Imran, Surah 3, Ayah 64. قل يا أهل الكتاب تعالوا إلى كلمة سواء بيننا وبينكم ألا نعبد إلا الله ولا نشرك به شيئا ولا نتخذ بعضنا بعضا أربابا من دون الله فإن تولوا فقولوا اشهدوا بأننا مسلمون. All right, listen. Say, all followers of the scriptures, let us come to an agreement between us that we shall not worship except one God, and we will not set up any idols besides him, nor set up any human being as lords besides God. If they turn away, which is they don't do the Salat, right? If they turn away, they don't keep in contact, that's it. Say, bear witness that we are peaceful. So, bear witness that we are peaceful. We are, because he said here, فَاشْهَدُوا بِأَنَّا مُسْلِمُونَ. Right? That's why I say Muslim is not a submitter. Do you understand? It's like a peaceful person. It's like a law-abiding person. Follows the rules. That's what it means exactly, all right? Because if you say that, look, if they turn away, say, bear witness that we are peaceful, that we are submitters, then I'm talking to a Christian, and I tell him, let's agree about worshipping one God. And then he turns away, he said, no, I want to worship something else with him. So I tell him, bear witness that I'm a submitter. How can he bear witness that? Does he know inside me? What's inside me? Does he know what's inside me to bear witness that? So he can't bear witness that I am a submitter, can he? Because I can talk, but beyond, you know what I mean? When he goes, I can be like the worst person in the world. Do you understand? That's why he can only bear witness the way I talk to him, the way I treat him, the way I'm peaceful to him, the way I'm respectful to him. So he can bear witness that. But he can't bear witness my belief. No way, no one can do that. Do you understand, guys? So here it shows you, Allah is telling us, when you go to the Christians and the Jews and tell them, let's agree about this, just about these three rules here, yeah? Let's just agree, all right, that we believe one God, we don't put idols with him, nor would we put each other as idols. That's three rules, and that's it. And then if they turn away, just say, you bear witness, we're peaceful. Or good doers, whatever you want, you can say it, do you know what I'm saying? So here Allah didn't tell me to actually convert them. It's not actually to ask me to convert anyone here, right? Or go and tell him his whatever he believes in is wrong and I'm right, and that's it. And if you don't do the Shahada, you're not a Muslim. Because all these verses here if you ask a lot of Sunni really believe, that's why you're never ever going to be guided, because you really, in the Quran, it's scary sometimes, when I read some verses and say, these people will never be guided because they either don't believe in the Quran altogether, they don't believe in them verses like Allah sent them, right? Or they don't want to believe. And that's why God said those people, they're never gonna be guided, because they don't. Why would God guide you if you don't actually believe in His verses that this is actually from Him, or try to understand them, or trying to actually use your head because they are so clear? I don't need a mufti to. They're so clear. I don't know what you want, honestly. I don't know what you want clearer than that. There's nothing clearer than that. Anyway, let's do that. We talked about that, yeah? So that's what we're supposed to say. We are supposed to say, this is the followers, this is only the followers of the Prophet Muhammad should say that, right? The Christians and the Jews don't have to believe in Muhammad. They really don't. They don't have to unless they want to, but they don't have to stay as Muslims. Do you know what I mean? They don't have to, as long as they follow the rules. As believing one God, no idol worshipping, and we don't put a human being as idols. Do you know what I mean? They have to believe in Allah or God, whatever you want to call Him, right? Believe in the last day, and do selfless acts or selfless deeds. That's all they need. They don't need to follow the Quran. As long as they follow a scripture that is not being tempered with a human being who's been changing anything, as long as they don't do idol worshipping, there's nothing between them and their creator, they are Muslims. That's what Islam is. But you say no. All right. Now that's what we're supposed to say as the followers of Muhammad. Surah Al-Baqarah, Surah 2, Ayah 285. آمن الرسول بما أنزل إليه من ربه والمؤمنون كلا قالوا آمنا بالله وملائكته وكتبه ورسله لا نفرق بين أحد من رسله وقالوا سمعنا وأطعنا غفرانك ربنا وإليك المصير. You see, this سمعنا وأطعنا, right? آمن الرسول, right? It's not شهد الرسول. آمن الرسول, we could say شهد here because you've seen the Quran. آمن الرسول بما أنزل إليه من ربه والمؤمنين كلا قالوا آمنا بالله وملائكته وكتبه ورسله لا نفرق بين أحد من رسله وقالوا سمعنا وأطعنا غفرانك ربنا وإليك المصير. So سمعنا وأطعنا is the actual sujood, right? To me, it's the actual sujood. It's how you do sujood, right? It's two words in one. Sujood to me is actually سمعنا وأطعنا. We heard and we obeyed. The messenger and has believed in what was sent to him. And the believers, they all say, we believe in Allah and His angels and His books and His messengers. We make no distinction among any of His messengers. They say, we hear and we obey. Forgive us, our Lord. To you is the ultimate destiny. So, for us, the believers, or the followers of Muhammad, we have to follow Allah. Believing, or believe, because we don't bear witness anything. We don't bear witness the Prophet. We only say believe because that is the unseen. That's how you believe in the unseen, right? That's how you believe. ألف لام ميم ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه هدى للمتقين الذين يؤمنون بالغيب. Those who believe in the unseen. That's why you can only say آمنت, I believe, right? And you do not believe in blindly because you've got the scripture to prove it, right? You're not having like a blind faith. No, you have a scripture to prove it. And you can debate anyone with it. Do you understand that? Right? To prove you're not just a blind follower. You actually have proofs. So many of them. Unbelievable. So, this is the followers of Muhammad who have to believe. If you want to follow the Quran, you have to believe in all this. Believe in all the messengers, all the prophets, all the books, the angels, right? You have to believe in all that. And then, specifically, you do not make any distinction among any of them, any of his messengers. So if you say Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadun Rasulullah, you're actually doing exactly that. Because you have to say all of their names as well. I'm saying you have to say I believe in all the messengers. You can't say I believe in Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the messengers because he's one of them. So you have to say, if you're going to say Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, you want to put people next to God, right? If we're going to put an idol next to God, right? You say Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Rasulullah or something, because otherwise this verse in the Quran doesn't mean anything. It really doesn't mean anything because you're not using it, because you actually just put in Muhammad next to God, your idol. And you call him so many things, like he's the best of humanity, he's the best of this, he's the chosen one, and in heaven in Judgment Day he's the only one who's going to take people out of fire to the Jannah. No other prophet or messenger can do that except him. He's the only one who can fly and see God. Right? He's the only one who's seen God, actually, because I don't think anyone else seen God. You know what I mean? You're doing exactly that. I'm asking you. I'm actually doing what God told me to do to the Christians, all right, and the Jews, all right. Let's believe in one God and God only. Let's not have any idols. All right? Let's not put manx and shit. Idols as idols, like they can actually guide you somewhere. Do you know what I mean? Let's not do that, please. Let's go back to the Quran and practice the Quran, please, please, please. All right. Now, where was I? Yeah. So, and then Salat, right? Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah, then Salat. Right. Now, let's see, right? How do we worship Allah, right? Ibadah. Al-ibadah is worship, right? I don't like the word worship, but I'm using it anyway because I have to find a very, I don't know, a very different word to say, right? Accept the laws of Allah, not worship, not like, you know what I mean? Because the word worship's been overused and misused a lot, you know? So let's say, how do we do that? So I'm going to look for a salat. Yeah? I'm going to look for where's the ibadah, right? Because obviously whatever they say, right? Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. It's not ibadah. It's not how you worship God, right? And now we'll find out how we worship God. How do we worship God? Right? Sorry, this video is going to be a bit long. All right. Surah 1, Ayah 1. Al-Fatiha. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم. I don't want to carry the whole verse because you know it, most of you will know it. So what we said here, right? We said إياك نعبد, you will worship, and you, let me read it in English. Praise be to Allah, Lord of the universe, most gracious, most merciful, owner of Judgment Day. You alone we worship. You alone we ask for help. Guide us to the right, to the straight path. So here we're saying we only worship Allah and we only ask for help from Him. Guide us to the right path. So now what we've got to do is look for the right path, isn't it? Right? What is the right path we want to go to? By worshipping and by asking for help from Allah, right? So we go and find out what is the straight path. I mean, I talked about it before. So we go to Surah Al-An'am, Surah 6, Ayah 151 and 153 and 152 and 152. 3. قل تعالوا أتلوا ما حرم ربكم عليكم ألا تشركوا به شيئا وبالوالدين إحسانا ولا تقتلوا أولادكم من إملاق نحن نرزقكم وإياهم ولا تقربوا الفواحش ما ظهر منها وما بطن ولا تقتلوا النفس التي حرم الله إلا بالحق ذلكم وصاكم به لعلكم تعقلون. Come, let me tell you what your Lord has really prohibited for you. You shall not set up idols besides him. You shall honor your parents. You know when you say walidain, right? When you say parents here, it's not actually your parents, it's just the people that raised you. It could be your parents or other people. But the people who raised you, not the sperm donor and the egg donor. You know what I'm saying? If your parents, your own parents raised you, this is called the walidain, right? If other couple raised you, to you they are walidain, right? Because they're the ones who looked after you. Right. Raised you. You shall not kill your children from fear of poverty. That's not exactly true though. That doesn't mean exactly that. But I'll come one day and explain that verse to you. Killing your kids because of the fear of poverty. We provide for you and for them. You shall not commit gross sins, obvious or hidden. You shall not kill. Allah made life sacred, except in just cause. These are his commandments to you, that you may understand. So this is Allah's commandments, right? He's telling us all about his commandments. Not all of them, but most of them here. ولا تقربوا مال اليتيم إلا بالتي هي أحسن قد يبلغ حتى يبلغ أشده وأوفوا الكيل والميزان بالقسط لا نكلف نفسا إلا وسعها وإذا قلتم فاعدلوا ولو كان ذا قربى وبعهد الله أوفوا ذلكم وصاكم به لعلكم تذكرون. You shall not touch the orphan's money except for just cause. Until they reach maturity, you shall give full weight and full measure when you trade. We do not burden any soul behind its means. You shall be just when you bear witness. See, you should be just when you bear witness. Right? You can't be a false witness. It's haram in the Quran. Bear witness. Even against your relatives, you shall fulfill your covenant with Allah. These are his commandments to you, that you may take heed, or you may think. You understand that? All right, let's go to... and then after saying all that, all his commandments, and then what he said on the verse 153, وَأَنَّ هَذَا صِرَاطِي مُسْتَقِيمًا فَاتَّبِعُوهُ وَلَا تَتَّبِعُوا السُّبُلَ فَتَفَرَّقَ بِكُمْ عَنْ سَبِيلِهِ ذَلِكُمْ وَصَّاكُمْ بِهِ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. He said, this is my straight path. You shall follow it, and do not follow any other paths, lest they divert you from his path. These are his commandments to you, that you may be saved. So this is the straight path, isn't it? This is the straight path. So his commandments are his straight path. So this is how we worship him. This is the only way to worship Allah. There's no pillars in it. You understand? So whatever is in them pillars, it's not here. It's not in Allah's commandments. So whatever they're telling you, right, has nothing to do with what they're talking about in the Quran, because the way we worship him is to accept and obey these commandments. And these commandments, you have to be evil. You have to be pure evil to find anything wrong with this. See, when you read Allah's commandments and then you don't agree with them, you must be one evil person, honestly. And you are never going to be guided. So we know this is the straight path. So what we got to look for now, when we said, إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ وَإِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينُ. I'm saying. So we worship him. We worship him with the straight path. And the straight path are his commandments. But this nasta'een, right, وَإِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينُ, which is you alone, we ask for help, we're going to have to look for this. Because now we know what worship is. But let's look for إِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينُ. You alone, we ask for help. Let's try and find that. Now we find out why God created us all. Why did created us? Why we need to find out why God created us. So we go like Surah Al-Zariyat, right? Surah Al-Zariyat. That's Surah 51, Ayah 56. وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ ما أريد منهم من رزق وما أريد أن يطعمون. I did not create the jinns and the humans except to worship me. That is with the straight path, the commandments alone. I need no provisions from them. No, do I need them to feed me. See, that's what he's telling you. He's only created you. He's only created you. Let me read the other verse. وَمَا أُمِرُوا إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُوا اللَّهَ مُخْلِصِينَ لَهُ الدِّينَ حُنَفَاءَ وَيُقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةَ وَيُؤْتُوا الزَّكَاةَ ذَلِكَ دِينُ الْقَيِّمَةِ. Right. And God said here, all that was asked of them was to worship Allah, devoting to His laws absolutely to Him alone. Do the Salat and do the Zakat, that means purify themselves. Such is the perfect deen. So, to have a perfect deen, I have to worship God the way He asked me to worship Him. Do you know what I'm saying? By being in the straight path, right? And Allah here is saying that I don't need you. I don't need you for anything, right? My commandments are not for me. My commandments are actually for you. And if you go through all the commandments, you can tell that God does not want nothing from us. It's for us to use them to be good to each other, to have a good life and be good to each other. You know what I mean? So when Allah said here, I don't need you to feed me or give me any provisions, it means you do not go and do the things that I didn't ask you to do. All this going 5 times a day and doing, Hajj like that and doing all this. I mean, nothing is right. Do the Shahada. That's nothing to do with what He asked you to do. Instead of worshipping Him with His straight path, you using gibberish and things you come up with. You think you can do things for God. You think Allah is needy. He wants you to do it 5 times a day, up and down, and go up and down, and do all this going around the building and all that. You think that is, He actually asks you for that. He just asks, I don't need nothing from you. Just get on with each other using this straight path, which is the law. Now let's find out what is إياك نستعين. Because it's important. That نستعين, right, let's just see here, right? نستعين, what is نستعين, right? Now, let's read from verse, right? We have to go Surah 2, Ayah 44, and Ayah 45, and Ayah 46. وَأَقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةِ وَآتُوا الزَّكَاةِ وَارْكَعُوا مَعَ الرَّاكِعِينَ. This is funny. What do you think your salat is a ruku is inside the salat, and the salat is doing what you're doing? This verse is plainly saying you guys are. It's not, all right. That's few verses actually, all the verses, not few verses, all the verses. But I mean, you read them and then you think nothing. You know what I'm saying? But when I read the Quran, I read plenty inside it. You do the salat and purify yourselves and submit humbly. That's what a ruku is. I'm sorry, but ruku is not what you do. Because look here, it said, aqimu salat, I mean, do the salat. Let's say prayer here. Do the prayer and give money while you're bowing, while you're bowing down. How do you do that? So zakat you have to bow down to do the zakat. You have to bow down to do the zakat, or bow, or whatever you want to do the zakat as well. So the ruku'ah is absolutely here in this verse. Nothing to do with what you're doing. Nothing to do with what we're doing. It's not inside the salat, first of all. And the second thing, so if you do the zakat, if you bow doing the salat, you have to bow doing the zakat. So every time you want to give money to someone, you have to bow. Unless you're not doing this. Do you know what I'm saying? So what it proper means, a ruku'ah means, is to submit humbly. Do you know what I'm saying? Look, you do the salat and purify yourselves and submit humbly. you can put that, what I just told you, yeah, this is my own conclusion, by the way, but you can use this submit humbly to any verse of sujood, and we heard and obeyed as a sujood, and anywhere in the Quran, it just doesn't change the context. The context stays solid, right? But I could be wrong. And I'm saying I'm only human. Okay, and then the next verse, أتأمرون الناس بالبر وتنسون أنفسكم وأنتم تتلون الكتاب أفلا تعقلون. That's a big question here. Do you encourage people to be righteous while forgetting yourselves? Although you recite the book, do you not understand? So look how the Quran is precise. He didn't say وَأَنْتُمْ تَقْرَؤُونَ الْقُرْآنَ, and you read in the Quran, did he? He said you recite in the Quran. You recite in the Quran. So you recite in the Quran, right? But you don't know what's in it. That's why God say, do you not understand? If he says reading, that means you're actually trying. وَقْرَأُوا مَا تَيَسَّرَ مِنَ الْقُرْآنِ. That means you're trying. That means reciting it, you keep just reciting it and singing it and doing all that. That's why you actually encourage people to be righteous while you're forgetting yourselves. You're hypocrites. That's what hypocrisy is. Do you not understand? And then on verse 46, God said, وَاسْتَعِينُوا بِالصَّبْرِ وَالصَّلَاةِ وَإِنَّهَا لَكَبِيرَةٌ إِلَّا عَلَى الْخَاشِعِينَ. So the way we worship God is by the commandments, and to make that happen, right? Because we need to ask him to help to explain the Quran. We have to be, we do the sabr and the salat, right? You shall seek help through steadfastness and the salat. This is difficult indeed, but not so for the reverend. See, the salat is a tool you use to get to righteousness, to get to the straight path, right? You have to be patient. With the Quran, you have to read it and read it and read it and read it and read it again and read it, and then when you finish, you read it again. You have to be patient. You have to wait. It's no rush. You keep reading it until the Quran will explain itself to you. By who? By God, who said, I will teach the Quran. And you can never understand the Quran, right, by doing your prayer. Right? By doing your prayer, you can never understand the Quran. You can never have a sila, right, which is a contact or relation between you and your maker, because the only relation between you and your maker is the Quran. So you use the Quran to find out how do you worship God. And then when you find that is you worship him by being in his straight path, by obeying and practicing his commandments, right? And then you get to righteousness. But going up and down, it doesn't do anything. It's not important. Whatever you're doing has nothing to do with all these verses when it comes to you translating a salat as, every time I read any translation, the salat is always do the prayer, contact prayer. That's not how you do contact prayer, man. The contact prayer is by using the contact, which is the Quran, which is trying to understand it. That's the only way you can do that contact prayer. Not by going up and down and you finish and you talk about everyone in there, you know what I'm saying? In the mosque, you talk about everyone. You don't believe in, you go to the masjid, but you talk about everyone. You in your own salat, you talked about Muhammad, you talk about Abraham, you talk, talk to the angels, and you talk to Abraham and Muhammad as they are still alive, you know what I mean? And then you say bye to the angels, and then you say you actually done that for God. And God didn't tell you to do that. You're just making that crap up. And you've been, I'm saying, you're lost basically. You're lost, right? So basically, we know that salat, what it means, yeah, is the contact between God, right? If you need help, you don't. How do you get help? I don't understand. Do you think you just do dua and things just fall down or something? I don't know. Do you think by asking your God to take guide you to the straight path and do nothing, you think that's what do you think Allah is just gonna send angels to you because you're special or something? None of us is special. The only one you can get salvation or you can get to righteousness or you can get help is through the Quran. That's how you find that. That's how you find that because it's the message. Everything is in a message, right? You practice the message, you're gonna see whatever Allah promised you in the Quran happening to you. You start actually seeing things happening to you. You see the peace that comes to you. You see that problems that go away from you. You see that Satan has got nothing to do with you. He can't mess with you. He really can't mess with you. Satan himself can't mess with you, and you feel it, right? You stay away from this sexual stuff and all this women, and it just goes away. Everything goes away. You know what I'm saying? That's how you know you've been guided. By using the Quran, by understanding the Quran and practicing it, right? So, Salat is nothing to this, not important at all, right? It's not like they're saying it's actually the pillar. I mean, if you don't do Salat, their prayer, you go into hell, right? And then let's come to Zakat, right? Let's do the Zakat. Let's see what Zakat is from the Quran. Surah Al-Shams, right? Surah 91, Ayah 7, right? ونفس وما سواها فألهمها فجورها وتقواها قد أفلح من زكاها وقد خاب من دساها. Right? The soul and who created it and showed it what is evil and what is good. Successful is the one who purifies it. Failing is one who neglects it. So here, the verse is saying, as zakat here is zakat al-nafs, is purifying the soul, right? So you show it what's right and what's wrong. How do you do that? You see, how do you do that? Who shows you right from wrong? The Quran shows you right from wrong. He actually tells you how to purify your soul. Gave you examples. Gave you the example of Abraham, how he actually just gone against what his people believed in, although he was one of them, grew up with them, everything with them, just like you Sunnis and Shia and all that. But his people thinking he was right as well, until he started questioning things. When he started questioning things, he started to purify his brain and himself and whatever he was brainwashed with, he started to question it. That's how you purify yourself. You know, you read from the Quran, and the examples he's giving you, they're not just there in the Quran for nothing, you know? Allah doesn't just put verses that make no sense or the outdated or something. It doesn't do that. Every verse is a proof. That's why Allah called it ayat, right? Because when you put them together, right, whatever the context you're looking for, it just shows itself to you. Here I am. But you have to be patient. And you have to keep reading and keep reading. If you're looking for a subject, do your best to get all the verses together. Talk about that subject and trying to put them together. Trying to play with them a little bit. Trying to put them in order if you can. Trying to do something. Yeah. Look at them every different way until God, Allah, teaches you. Do you understand? All right, now. Let's just find out what purifies the soul as well. Yeah? Surah 9, Ayah 103. خُذْ مِنْ أَمْوَالِهِمْ صَدَقَةً تُطَهِّرُهُمْ وَتُزَكِّيهِمْ بِهَا وَصَلِّ عَلَيْهِمْ إِنَّ صَلَاتَكَ سَكَنٌ لَهُمْ وَاللَّهُ سَمِيعٌ عَلِيمٌ. Take from their money of donation to purify them and sanctify them and do the salat to them. Your salat reassures them. Allah is hearer, omniscient. So here, right, sallallahu alayhi wa sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, that means you guys are sallallahu alaykum wa sallam as well. You know what I mean? Because this is the verse, right? It's funny that how they actually they said here, it doesn't matter. All right, let's go on with it. Go on with it. خذ من أموالهم صدقة تطهرهم بها إن صلاتك سكن لهم. And look what he said, yeah? Take money from them to cleanse them and purify them, their souls. Do you know what I mean? So, another way to clarify your soul is by giving things, doing selfless things to other people. Not just money, right? Anything selfless. You don't expect nothing from it, back from it. That is, you purifying your soul, right? Has got to do with money a little bit, but that is not what money for. Money, yeah, you give it, you feel good, but in the same time, you purifying your soul as well because you feel good. Every time you do a good thing, doesn't have to be with money. Anything can help an old lady. I don't know. You can help a blind guy across the road. That's a selfless act. That means that's how you clean your soul. You know what I mean? That's how you purify your soul. And then after that, I'll give you Surah 23, Ayah 1, Surah Al-Mu'minun. قد أفلح المؤمنون الذين هم في صلاتهم خاشعون والذين هم عن اللغو معرضون والذين هم للزكاة فاعلون. Why doesn't say here والذين هم للزكاة آتون, but here he says للزكاة فاعلون. He just gave you, right? Let's read it in English. I get lost sometimes, sorry. Successful indeed are the believers who are reverent during Salat, and they avoid vain talk, and they act the purifying. See here, God said, it didn't say atu as zakat, said fa'ilun, this zakati fa'ilun. And this is what they do, right? If they do this, right, all of them, yeah, they're saved. They call them mu'minun, and they are saved. You know what I'm saying? They are saved, right? What do you need to do? They need to be reverent in their salat. Well, that's not what you do, guys. You know, that's your prayer. Can any one of you be reverent on that prayer? I mean, I tried to do khushu' in it. I've been all my life. A lot of people, you know, I know you. I know. No one has that khushu', right? No one has that khushu' all through the salat. Because as soon as you say Allahu Akbar, right, that's the wrong word to say, Allahu Akbar, I mean, you can try, you really try, and stand there, try, but you can't. Ideas come through your head, from every angle. No matter how sometimes I'm trying, but I'm trying hard. I was trying hard to actually do this khushu' in your prayer, but I couldn't. That's why if you do a video, if you go to YouTube, say, how do you do this khushu', right? A lot of people ask the same question, and you can watch the videos, right, live on TV, and muftis and telling them how to do it, like we can do it themselves. You know what I mean? You can't do that. You can't be reverent in your prayer. You really can't, right? So here, right, the salat is, right, is the Quran itself. When you read the Quran, you do the khushu' reading the Quran. You know what I'm saying? And even you go and you keep going, you know, you've got contact. Salat is when you go and see people, go and see your family, go and see your friends, go and see your things, you know what I mean, your people around you. That's salat as well. That's your salat between you and your social network, basically, you know what I mean, with people you work, right? So God said, while they're doing that, they avoid vain talk. While you're actually talking to people, avoid that vain talk. That's what the Muslimin is. That's what the khashi'in is. You have to be, you know what I mean? Like you have to read the Quran, understand what's in the Quran, and then when you understand what's in the Quran, you will avoid this vain talk about rubbish. People talking about rubbish. People talking about like rubbish, basically the whole day rubbish. I don't like doing that. I really don't like doing that, and I will act my purifying. Do you know what I'm saying? I will act it. Not just talk about it. I will actually act it. I purify myself every day. When I make a mistake, I purify myself again. I remember that mistake, that I will not do it again. And that's all it is. I don't want to talk. I talked about Hajj, right? I could if I add anything to this video, well, it's going to be about 3 hours, and people are bored. I don't think people are watching this videos either. But I have to do them. I've got no choice. There is practice in the Quran. This is practice in the Quran. This is one of them. That's why I can't stop until I finish every subject. And there's too many to finish. I can't finish it probably until I die. Anyway, guys, alright? If I said anything wrong, please help. Correct me. Alright? If I said anything that didn't make sense to you, please let me know. Alright? But I can't talk about Hajj because I've talked about it. If you want to watch the video about Hajj, you can go back to it. Ramadan, I've done a whole video, my last video was about Ramadan, right? It was about an hour and a half, right? So none of this, they are not doing anything right. The zakat is give £7 in Ramadan. That's the zakat, right? That is zakat, that's it. You've done it, you know what I mean? The Salat, they're not doing Salat, they're doing prayer, right? They're doing prayer. That's not in the Quran. There's no details, there's nothing in the Quran. I'm sorry that there isn't. And there's some people trying to find it in there, like people that believe in the Quran. But why are you trying, honestly? Why are you trying? It's not there. It's just not there. Trying to find how many ruku', how many sujood, it's not there. What to read in the Quran, what to read and what to not to read. And it's not there. There's no details. No, not a single detail about praying like Sunnis do, or you need to be moving somewhere or facing somewhere, or God just said, well, I don't need nothing from you, man. He just said, I don't nothing from you. Just you get on with each other. Respect the rules and get on with each other. I don't need nothing from you. I don't need you to feed me or go up and down for me or face a wall for me or go and spend £6,000 to go around a building or anything that you're doing or starve all day for me. That's not Allah, man. That's not Islam. It's Sunnism and Shiism and all that, man. You know what I mean? Anyway, peace out.